All right, let's make an ice cream. We're going to do the cake batter ice cream from start to finish to see how the whole process works. And let's get started. We will start off with a nice 2 cups of half and half. You can also do a mixture of cream and milk. I find half and half works really well. You kind of want half cream, half milk. This is like half whole milk. You can also use like a cup of cream and a cup of whatever milk you want if you want to be a little healthier, but I think the fat helps it be smooth. So we'll just add that to our saucepan pot and turn that up. Like a medium heat. All we're really doing right now is heating the milk. We're not really cooking anything yet. So whatever temperature you want. Meanwhile, sometimes I turn it down to give myself more time for the next step. We're going to separate our egg yolks and whites. I do need, oh no, they'll go in here. So you'll want a bowl for your whites, which then you can make into meringues or macarons, or if you're healthy, you can make like an egg white omelet. Never done that with my egg whites, but you can. And a bowl for the yolks to be in, and this bowl needs to be heat resistant. So something metal, something glass, something like ceramic, all of that will work. Or like a hardy plastic if you know that it's heat proof up to like 100 degrees, nothing too crazy. So we'll separate our eggs while that heats and then go on to the next step. Okay, we have our 3 yolks in here and my whites. I'll just set over to the side. Those will just go in the fridge for later. You do want to stir this a little bit, make sure it doesn't scald or boil. You don't want it to boil. I like to use my handy dandy thermometer, but it's actually pretty easy to tell when this gets warm because it'll get warm to the touch, but you want it to be around 100 degrees. So this is actually already there. I'm going to turn off the heat for safety and grab a whisk. If you're really brave, you could leave the heat on. I also forgot to add my sugar. So, mixing. This is the sugar amount that I found works for me. That is the sweetness level that I like. And I do a half a cup in the milk and a third a cup in the egg. So a total of, I don't know. Something. A little over 3/4. And we're just gonna mix these up. So this helps the egg kind of incorporate into the milk mixture when you combine it with sugar. And we want to dissolve the sugar in the rest of the milk that has been heated up. I'm just going to stir it till it dissolves. If you pour it in before you heat it, then it'll be dissolved by the time that it is warm. Yeah, we got a little bit hot, but it'll be fine. Okay, so now we're going to pour little bits of this milk mixture into the eggs. Just a little slosh at a time. And you want to fully mix it into the eggs before you add your next bit. And we're just going to slowly get the eggs up to the temperature of the milk. There we go. And then once you've poured all the milk mixture in, mine always seems to dribble down the side, so I'm gonna just wash it off before I put it back on the stove so it doesn't like burn the sugar. You could also either like ladle some of the milk mixture into the eggs or use like a big spoon, but pouring is just quicker. You don't have to get another utensil dirty. So let me rinse this off, and then we're gonna pour this back into this pot. Oh. All right. Now we can just throw this whole custard mixture straight back in here. Perfect. And if it's a little frothy, it's fine. It'll all come out. This is difficult. Get all that in there. And I usually rinse this out, and then this is what I will just store the finished product in. So I'll do that in a second. Meanwhile, this is kind of like our custard phase that I call it. After we add the eggs, we basically are making a custard. So here you want to add any ingredients that you want to dissolve into the ice cream, into the mixture. So in this case, we're going to do our 1.5 cups of cake batter. Several blogs said to use yellow cake mix. There was debate between Pillsbury and Duncan Hines, so we're going to try Pillsbury. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'll just do 1.5 cups. The rest of this can be like mini cake later. And we're just going to stir that in. Use this whisk. And we can turn our heat back up. Medium lowish, like a 4 or 5 if you have numbers. That's what I'm going to do. And just let that dissolve in there. And we're just going to let this heat up until it thickens a bit. We're just going to let this heat up until it thickens a bit, or about 170 degrees, I believe. Yeah. So if you don't have a thermometer, you'll stir until it coats the back of a spoon, and I'll show you what that means. We're a little bit hot, I think. So I can already tell it's thickening up. It's quite warm. We are at 125. I don't have a great spoon to show for this because they're all either this light wood or a non-stick. But hopefully we can get a good coating the back of the spoon for you. Okay, so I've learned cake batter is a terrible example because it just wants to cook. Maybe you should have not added that in when it was hot. But you'll know your custard's done. Let's see if I can just get the custard. When, let's do this. You can scrape it off and it doesn't immediately run back over where you scraped it. So you can see this solid line where I scraped the batter off. It's gonna be really hot. So sometimes I use like the back of my finger. I don't recommend using the meat of your finger. Yeah, we just have like cake bits in this. So no need to fear. Our custard is definitely done. I never did rinse this bowl off. You'll need a strainer. Sometimes some of your eggs just do end up scrambling, or you might end up with like cake chunks, as I do here now. We basically baked a cake. We had milk and egg and heat and cake mix, so this is what happened. That's fine. We're just gonna hope for the best and put it through the strainer. Okay. I literally have cooked cake in the bottom of this pot. So didn't think that through. Okay, here's my cake. I'm going to attempt to just like strain this. Can we get cake flavor? And what we're going to do to this is then we're going to add it to, or add 1 more cup of half and half to this. Okay, fun fact, this half and half just like fell out of the fridge, so it's leaking a little bit, but that's fine. We're still gonna use it. You're okay. And our last cup of cream. Let's see if we can get some of this cake batter out. See, anyone can do this. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Okay, so now we just have like strained cake chunk in our ice cream. Okay, I really don't know about this. Okay. Ooh. We'll just let that kind of marry for a bit. No worries, I do have an emulsifier that I may be pulling out. To remedy this, don't add the cake batter until your custard base has cooled a little bit. Probably, that'd be best. So, this is still quite warm. What I usually do, yeah, it's still like 120. If you're in a hurry, then you can put this bowl inside of another bowl that has ice, maybe a little bit of salt if you're like really in a hurry, but you'd want to make sure the salt isn't too abrasive on your bowls. So ice water and just let it kind of come down to a cooler temperature. Otherwise you can just kind of let this sit until it's like 80 or 90 degrees and then put it into the fridge. You'll know it's 80 or 90 degrees when it doesn't burn your finger when you touch it. Okay, so we'll see how this is. It's still smoother than I thought it would be. Yeah, I might have to just double strain this one and we may be fine. Okay. Smells good though. You also want to add here a tablespoon of vanilla. You could also wait until it comes out of the fridge and it's cool. We'll measure. Don't worry, I got you. Tablespoon of vanilla. You can do this while it's hot or once it cools. And we'll just take one more look at our cake in a pot. Oh yeah, delicious. So, we'll see how this turns out. Okay, we have our mixture now. It is about room temperature, a little bit colder. And we should be good. Okay. It is not too bad. Smoother than I thought it would be. But, yeah. Look at that. I've never gotten to use this before, so we're gonna go for it. little bit thicker than your typical ice cream, but that should be just fine. Okay, I am gonna strain it just to be safe. Alright, so we have our freezer bowl out of the freezer. Stick our blade in here. Ideally, you'll get this spinning as soon as possible, but I just want to make sure it will be smooth. So here we go. That actually really smoothed it out. Okay. Yeah, there's like nothing in the strainer. Okay. Get this in here. And let it churn 20-ish minutes. Every ice cream maker is a little bit different, so you'll get to know yours. And we'll check in on that in a bit. Okay, it's been exactly 20 minutes, and here is what our ice cream looks like. It's really hard to tell because it's so smooth. But we've reached about soft serve consistency, so I'm going to start transferring it into our little cups and put them in the freezer to let them get hard.